I cannot speak a word in English. There are no sentences longer than 4 words. I never repeat a word. Now, if you think the last 3 sentences I spoke had some issues with them, well then you'll have no problems understanding what's wrong with this week's challenge. Now in this particular challenge, an interviewer is asking an author about their book. The name of the book is called I Am Christ. And the interviewer simply says, what is the process of I Am Christ? How does that book help lead you towards humility? And here's what the author says. He says that his book, quote, causes you to recognize your own beliefs for what they are. And that is, they're just beliefs. They're my personal roadmap to reality, but I'm not going to confuse that map with the actual territory that map surveys anymore. I'm going to realize it's just a map. It's my map, and I'm not going to try and impose my map on others. The trouble with religions like Christianity, he continues to say, is that they spread with the belief that the missionary, or whoever spreading the belief, has the correct belief, and all others should conform with their belief. My God, my religion, my belief. This is egocentrism, end quote. Now there's a lot of problems with this particular challenge, and I'm only going to address one of them, which I believe to be the most egregious mistake. And in fact, it's also the one that perhaps everybody who commented on this particular challenge correctly identified as the big problem. You see, the major mistake with this author's view is that it's self-refuting. It contradicts itself. In other words, this author's view can't satisfy his own criteria. You see, if I was writing a textbook on logical fallacy, mistakes, or errors in thinking, you could actually use this example as a sort of textbook example of how to commit this error of committing a self-refuting statement, or making a self-refuting statement. Now let me just give a few more examples of self-refuting statements just to kind of get your mind thinking and your juices flowing on what this looks like. If I was to say to you, my brother is an only child, well, this would be a self-refuting statement because I'm saying, or I'm referring to my brother, indicating that there's 2 siblings, but when I say he's an only child, that indicates there's only 1 sibling. So I'm saying there's 2 siblings or there's 1 sibling, and of course that's contradictory. Or if I was to say to you, ask me about my vow of silence. Well, the instant I say that to you, I've broken my vow of silence. So that also would be a kind of a self-refuting statement. Or sometimes you'll get a letter in the mail or perhaps a utility bill, and it'll have several pages, and you might flip over one of the pages, and on the back side of the bill it'll say, this page intentionally left blank. Well, not anymore, right? I mean, the moment they wrote on it, those words, it's no longer blank. And of course, this would be kind of a self-refuting sort of idea. All of these statements commit a fatal flaw, and that is they contradict themselves. And that's why we call them self-refuting statements. And if you make a self-refuting statement or you offer a self-refuting view, this isn't just a weaker view, it's utterly false. It can't be true. In fact, this is precisely what's wrong with this author's view. Here's how his view is self-refuting. Listen carefully to what his claim is. He says this, quote, the trouble with religions like Christianity is that they spread with the belief that the missionary has the correct belief and all others should conform with their belief, end quote. In other words, you can't go around thinking that your views are correct and true for everyone, and so consequently you shouldn't go around trying to get others to conform to your view. Okay, so let's see. Does this author follow his own advice? Does this author have a belief that he thinks is correct? Well, yes, there is. What is his belief? He says it right here. His belief is, quote, that beliefs are just personal roadmaps to reality, and therefore you shouldn't try to convince others of them, end quote. Now, does he want to spread that belief and have others conform to it? Yes. How do I know? He's written a book on it, and he's selling it on Amazon.com, the largest online retailer in the world. So he criticizes Christians for having a belief that they think is true for everyone, and then trying to spread it and get others to conform to it. He calls them egocentric for doing such a thing. But at the same time, he has his own belief, which he also thinks is correct, wants to spread it to others so others conform to it, and this he believes or calls to be an action of humility. This is just self-refuting. It's self-contradictory. It sounds compassionate, it sounds tolerant, it sounds fair, but all this author has said is, my brother is an only child, and a publisher has gone to print with this idea that is equally as self-contradictory. Merry Christmas.